Germany has long been one of NATO's most reliable partners, hosting major alliance infrastructure, contributing troops to joint deployments, and investing steadily, if unevenly, in its own defense. But over the last year, a growing chorus both inside Germany's governing coalition and from opposition parties has begun to question the wisdom of automatic, unqualified support for every NATO initiative. That pushback, driven by concerns about entanglement in distant conflicts, by a broader debate over European strategic autonomy, and by domestic political realignment, risks reshaping not only Berlin's approach to the alliance but the broader contours of Euro-Atlantic security. 1. Domestic drivers of German pushback. Coalition tensions. The Social Democrats, SPD, and Greens, Germany's ruling partners, have clashed over new NATO missions beyond the traditional Article 5 collective defense umbrella. While the Greens have pressed Berlin to enhance support for Ukraine and other out-of-area contingencies, the SPD base remains wary of open-ended military commitments outside direct threats to German territory. A rise of Eurosceptic voices. Both Die Linke, the left, and the Alternative für Deutschland, AfD, have amplified skepticism of NATO, calling instead for a Europe-only defense framework. Though neither party currently commands government power, their ability to shape public debate and influence vote margins in key districts puts additional pressure on the governing parties. Public opinion fatigue. Polls over the past 2 years have shown a modest but perceptible decline, particularly among younger Germans, in enthusiasm for NATO deployments that do not directly defend Germany. Questions about risk, cost, and escalation loom large in a population still scarred by Cold War anxieties and wary of dragging Germany into protracted foreign engagements. 2. Geostrategic implications for NATO and beyond. A strained transatlantic solidarity. Germany's cautious recalibration complicates Washington's expectation of a unified front. If Berlin resists extending support, whether through troop contributions, intelligence sharing, or arms transfers, it may embolden skeptics in other European capitals and Washington alike, undercutting the alliance's deterrence message toward Russia. A European defense autonomy accelerated. German reticence could be a boon for advocates of a standalone European defense union. Paris and Brussels have long sought a complement or eventual alternative to US-centered NATO. If Germany sidelines itself from certain NATO missions, EU member states may feel compelled to pool capabilities more deeply, developing rapid reaction forces, joint procurement programs, and a unified command structure, independent of NATO. A Russian strategic calculus. Moscow's analysts will watch Germany's debate closely. Any sign that Berlin is stepping back from forward defense commitments on NATO's eastern flank, particularly in Poland, the Baltic states, or the Black Sea region, could tempt Russia to probe alliance resolve with more aggressive maneuvers, cyber attacks, or political pressure campaigns. A global ripple effects. Beyond Europe, other U.S. allies, from East Asia to the Middle East, monitor the transatlantic alliance for cues on burden sharing. Germany's hesitancy may feed narratives in Tokyo, Seoul, or Jerusalem that American security guarantees are less reliable, prompting those states to pursue their own deterrent capacities or recalibrate their diplomacy with rivals. 3. Potential scenarios and watchpoints. Compromise via mission-specific mandates. Berlin might limit opposition to certain out-of-area operations while reaffirming commitment to collective defense in Europe. This could preserve cohesion on deterrence against Russia, even as Germany abstains from missions farther afield. Institutional pivot to the EU. Germany could champion a halfway house, contribute more to permanent EU battle groups or the European Peace Facility while scaling back on NATO's expeditionary planning. Escalation of internal debate. If domestic calls for NATO withdrawal or dilution grow louder, especially if Die Linke or the AfD gain ground in upcoming state elections, Germany's foreign policy center of gravity could shift decisively away from the alliance. Conclusion. Berlin's emerging pushback against NATO reflects deeper transformations in German politics and society, from generational shifts in risk appetite to a long-standing tension between Atlanticism and European strategic autonomy. How Germany navigates this debate over the next 12 to 18 months will reverberate across transatlantic relations, shaping alliance cohesion, emboldening both allies and adversaries, and potentially accelerating the evolution of an independent European defense identity. Those watching NATO's future should therefore see Germany's internal controversy not as a mere parliamentary skirmish, but as a bellwether for the alliance's next chapter.